was young, I recall when my daddy told me I could be...
Hello, Alvin, and welcome to the Blue Room. We're so happy to spend a few minutes with you.
Hey, what's up? It's so nice to be with you today.
Now, for those of you who missed our previous interview, a little recap. You are an Alabama boy, born and raised in the Birmingham, Tuscaloosa area, and we became of Alvin Garrett when you were the musical director for Ruben Studdard, who won season 2 of the American Idol. Going back to the early years, tell us, how did your early childhood contribute to your musical development?
Listen, I grew up in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and I'm a preacher's kid, so I spent all of my time in church. And for my 11th birthday, my father bought me a bass guitar because he saw that I was really interested. But my pops didn't have a musical bone in his body, so he figured he's just going to pray for me to learn how to play. So he grabbed my hands and just asked God to teach me how to play. And the rest is sort of history. I just picked it up, started listening to music, a lot of quartet gospel music, choir music. And as I got older, I started getting into funk and jazz and all kinds of R&B music. So my early years weren't really spent as a vocalist. They were spent as a musician, a bass guitarist. And I eventually fell in love with songwriting and production.
To be such a relatively young artist, your resume is quite extensive. You've worked with a wide array of big-name artists from various genres. You've worked with Zapp, Joe, Fantasia, Johnny Gill. You've also worked with Noel Gordon, Kelly Rowland, your boy Ruben Studdard, just to name a few. Now, do you differentiate between genres as far as the creative process is concerned?
Man, it's just so humbling to just hear you go down that list. Because I remember, being a young songwriter, just writing songs and wishing and praying that I could work with some of those people. So for it to happen, it just reminds me how blessed I am. As for the creative process, it's really been different, not so much based on the genre, but whether or not I can work hands-on with the artist. For example, I wrote 13 songs and 2 albums for the artist Joe and never spent one day in the studio with him. So I really had to use my imagination with those songs, But I really like it when I can just get with an artist, vibe, talk, get to know them, and just see what's on their mind. That's just a more intimate writing and creative process when you're working hands-on with an artist, like they used to do back in the old days before the internet. Just send the song, email it, we'll record it. I'm not against doing that, and that's cool, but I would rather work hands-on.
Which genre do you find most challenging?
Well, I've taken a stab at a lot of different genres, and I'll say one of the most challenging is kind of hip-hop. The language changes so much, you can't keep up with what's cool, what's not cool. Even though I got a little flow, I can rap a little bit. You just never know if what you're saying is going to translate to these young people, so I just leave that alone, you know what I mean?
Well, who do you like to listen to?
Well, I like to listen to soul singers, like Otis Redding, Al Green, Sam Cooke. I just really find a connection with them. I think I'm kind of an old soul myself. So it's just something about their passion, their swag, the songs that they write. I'm just really intrigued by, and always have been intrigued by those guys and those soul singers from back in the days.
Many artists have stated that the music industry is in a constant state of evolution. How do you feel about the state of the industry and the direction music is heading?
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about the changes in the music industry where, that conversation can go so many different ways. We can talk about the technological changes, streaming, and all the pros and cons that come with that. And, people are talking about the types of music that's out there. People are confused about what R&B is because it feels so different than the traditional R&B music. I just feel like every generation has a right to choose what they like. But with that being said, I wish I was born back in the 60s and 70s when my music would have been considered mainstream. But I'm here now, so I have to do whatever it is I got to do to get my music to the people that still love good, heartfelt, classic R&B. Yes, it's a grind, it's a climb. I just believe that I'm one of the ones who are supposed to keep good old-fashioned soul music alive. And that's just what I'm going to do.
This brings us to your latest project, This Hill. Tell us about the concept of this album.
On this album, I sort of took a neo-vintage approach. What I mean by that is I didn't want to go in and try to recreate the exact sound from the 60s and 70s that I love so much, but sort of be influenced by it and capture the feeling, the spirit of the music that was made back then. So it has sort of a current sound with a vintage spirit. And I think people are really, really digging that.
The lead single and title cut, This Hill, has received lots of love from radio at home and abroad. This Hill has been labeled as one of the most motivational songs in recent history. Now tell us what this song means to you personally.
You know, that really makes me think about, my parents, and they just taught me to believe and dream and have faith. Trust God and just never let anybody tell me what I can and can't do with my life. And so to hear that my music is making an impact on people all over the world, it means so much to me, because I've truly had to fight through a lot of rejection, a lot of doubt. I just decided I'm not going to let anybody tell me what my future should be. So my hope inspires me to pursue what I love at the risk of loss. That's what heal means. Hope, inspiration, love, and loss. You can't live on the hill if you're afraid to take a nail. If I have to get out here and climb this hill by myself, that's what I'm going to do. So just knowing that the songs that I'm writing are inspiring other people, it just motivates me to keep climbing and to keep doing what I'm doing.
Do you have any advice to young artists who may be listening to this interview?
Most artists want to know, what do I need to do to be successful or to make it out here? But if you're listening to me right now, I want to leave a message with you. Learn to serve. Your gift is just that. It's a gift that was given to you from God above. If you put in the work, you stay diligent, then good things will come your way. But if you make it to a certain point and you feel like the world owes you something, you're already on your way down. You got to always say, well, what do I have to give? When I'm on this stage, let me pour out my heart. Let me give my gift to make people laugh and happy or make them cry, whatever it is. Just remember that whatever success you attain is going to go away if you think it's all about you.
Now we see that you have a very active schedule, and we plan to see you on July 15th at the Jackson Music Awards in Jackson, Mississippi. Tell us how we stay in touch with you, as well as download This Hill.
I like to encourage everybody to go to alvingarrett.com. You can sign up for my email list, connect to my social media there, keep up with my calendar on where I'll be performing. And also, you can find links to my new album, This Hill, which is available on Spotify, iTunes, and more. Just go check it out, look it up, This Hill. Make sure you go to alvingarrett.com to stay connected with me.
We've been speaking with one of the most talented and diverse artists on the scene today, Alvin Garrett. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for visiting us.
Oh, yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity to talk with you today, and thank you so much for continuing to play my music, and I hope to see you soon. God bless you.
When I was young, I recall when my daddy told me I could be whatever I want as long as I believe. He never said it would be easy, never said I would cruise on the way to the dream. He said I would get bruised up.